Here's our big old Montana. All right, so we got this strip down. We took the shoulder off. That's what I wanted to see. So now what we're going to be looking for is see if there's any wires up underneath this. But this is not glued down. But they also have this foil in here, and the purpose that they want, the intent at the factory, is to reflect the heat. It's not going to work because there's no cavity under there. You need to have at least a 3/4 inch cavity up underneath there, just a vacant spot for it to work proper. But it may work a little bit. I'm not saying it won't do anything, but it's not going to be as efficient if there was. But nonetheless, I don't see an issue with this. This is a composite. All of this is plastic. It's right there. It's all molded plastic. So that's on the plus side where I can add more screws to it and keep it down instead of tearing up the whole roof deck. Because if I take the roof deck up, I'm going to have to take this up because I'd have to get it glued to there. My concern is a lot of these trusses are really skinny. And when you go to put screws in them, you'll split them. This is a composite. It's not going to split. I could put screw after screw after screw right along there. It's not going to be a problem at all. So it'll be still tight. So I'm going to add some more. I see one here and here, you know, and I may add some more in here to make sure it is tight, that it stays down well. And but like I said, we do want to check and make sure we don't have any wires that run up through here. So I'm going to end up taking the shoulder off anyways. A lot of times they'll have wires that'll come up through either here or right inside here. I've shown it on other videos. There's a ferrule in there, and they never protect the wire or the Romex from the ferrule. So we'll check that out and give you another update on it. I don't want the person to drive down the road, and who knows if that thing's at its last leg, its last bump from failing, you know, shorting out. They could probably hit that bump out our driveway, and that could be the ticket. And then the customer is going to think that we put a screw or staple or something through it. So that's why we like to check them as well. And I also wouldn't like them down the road a year or two from now and the thing failed, because it would be a hard fix. You'd have to chase it. So since we can take the shoulders off that easy, see, like right here's a good example. See that? And I want to make sure that there should be a plastic piece right in here. And that's what I want, because sometimes it'll compromise it. This one doesn't look too bad, but that still is really sharp. So I'm going to put one in there. And like I said, we'll take the shoulder off the rest of this and check what we can to make sure those are protected. We haven't got any of them off except for that one right now. So we'll, like I said, we'll get back with you with an update on this. More to come with our Mountaineer. Back at our Mountaineer. All right, we took all these off, found a couple of the wires under there, like we showed you on the last clip, and we put the little plastic pieces in. Now what we're doing is putting down these buffer strips. They go over the seams right here, protective strips, buffer strips. They'll go down like that. Roofing will go over it, just to make sure there isn't anything that wants to kind of poke up or compromise on these seams here. What they did is they put this drywall mesh on there. It doesn't work. But anyhow, this is a lot stronger. Now this is the same roof material that we're putting over the coach. So it's the same exact thing. I just cut it out of some remnants. So the roll is 10 foot wide. This coach isn't 10 foot wide. So the balance we have, we cut up, put down like that. So we're going to put one on every one of those. The other thing we're going to do is I'm going to put it on here like this. So it'll run all the way down this shoulder, all the way down there, like that. And it'll cover that edge. So we won't have to worry about, even if one of these staples, if anything like that wanted to loosen up down the road, it's not going to compromise the main roof. But we glued this down and then we refastened it down. That's what we did. Make sure it would stay well. It wasn't glued before. So other than that, that's about it. We put more screws in here. That's what we did. We countersunk them down there, make sure they seat well, and just added some to it. It wasn't glued down, but this has a big arch on it, and also with the extra screws we put in, it'll be just fine. And it'll hold it a lot better. We would have had to rip it up, and I think we showed you there was a foil underneath there under the insulation. I think you can probably see a little bit of the foil just popping out from there, but there was some foil under it. Let's see here. Oh, you got all this blocked out just so we don't trip in it, but there's a piece of it right under there. So then we would have to take all that up to glue it, and then glue that, to glue this, to glue it all together, to stack it. Wouldn't be any sense of putting the glue on the foil if the foil isn't glued to the truss. Now these trusses, they were plastic trusses, polypropylene trusses. So we were able to screw right through them. We didn't have to worry about, you know, splitting them or anything. Normally we'll staple them, or if they're wood. But in this case, we had no issues with it. So that's what we're doing now. We got some glue right here. We're stirring it up pretty well. Once we get it done, we're going to glue everything down. We're going to try and get this whole roof down if we can today. That would be great, but that's what we're working on. All right, got a Mountaineer update. We got the roof down. So we've got all our protective strips up underneath there. Let me show you that. You can see them right there. And you can also see them in the actual roof. You can probably see them going across that way. You can see another one up that way. You should be able to see them up underneath the roof. We've already got it all glued down. The next step, put the curbs up here. Once we get the curbs on, then it's a matter of welding everything in place and getting it all put back together. You can see, probably see that line running down here, right in this way. That's running up the roof. That's to protect it up over that metal there, see? Oh, we got that. We're going to be putting another piece on the back, but we covered up over here, see? To protect it from there. Plus we glued this down and refastened it down. So we're not going to have that issue where the piece will want to try to come up again. We got that problem solved. And we've got all the little bushings up into the electrical that we could find. So like I said, it's just a matter of getting the curbs and mounted on there, get all the holes cut out for the vents and things like that, all those components. So we'll keep you updated on this Mountaineer right here. Our big Montana Mountaineer. We are done. We got our boots done. So the roof is obviously laid down. We've got double layer of caulking on the side. We've got our curbs put in for our air conditioner. Fabricated that nice stand in the back. Just gives a little balance. That's all it does. We got a flashing detail on the front. Everything's all heat welded. It's all heat welded. This is a 60 mil commercial grade TPO product. Same product you're going to find on a hotel. You're going to find it on an office building, a library. Commercial product, commercial installation. So what we did, we custom designed all these curbs. These right here, and they have counter flashing on them right there. So, and I'll explain how some of that works. But basically, when the water comes across, is you get into a heavy rain, and even if it wanted to drive up that curve a little bit with blowing rain, it can't go anymore. We'd actually have to come back to get up and to get over, and it's not going to really be able to do that. So it'll divert it to go around the curb. Then obviously the curbs and everything are sealed as well. On the top there, the vents and whatnot, those are all sealed. Same thing with the plumbing. The plumbing are filled just like the boots are down there. Those boots are filled with what's called a portable sealer, and it stays real elastic, if you will, or rubbery, although it's not a rubber product, but it stays real pliable. So it'll stay sealed for a long time. Then we're just going to get some of that booger off the side there. I can see right there. That's what he was doing with the rag. I just got ahead of myself with the camera, I guess. You can see that we've got our buffer strips right here. You can see them there, and then all of them down there. So wherever the sheets come together, that's where we put them on there. On the edge here, on the beginning of the video, you notice that they had staples in there and it was really loose. So we glued that piece down, and then once we glued the aluminum piece, the shoulder, we put a strip over it as well. Another buffer strip just like this one here is on top of there to keep everything nice and tight. We get all that. Here's a different air conditioner, just a little different shape. He's got two different ones on here, but you can see the same. You got the stand in the back, and we also got another flashing detail. So I put that flashing on there so when water is coming down, it won't roll along the bottom part of the AC and try to get up underneath into that foam gasket in there. That's what it's for. So it diverts the water. That's the whole purpose of that. Now the rest of it, when it comes down, you can see there's a lot of room on the sides. Just the front, there isn't. You can see the front's real narrow on the sides, and obviously the rear, there's plenty of room there. So water is going to barely travel that far for it at all. But like I said, in the front, if it came down, especially in a blowing rain, traveling condition, it's as the water is rushing and being blown into the coach, I don't want it to try to breach that gasket. That's the way they do them on your coach now. If you haven't got an RV roof, that's how they do them. They just take this air conditioning unit, they put it down to the roof, and then you have that little piece of 3/4 inch foam that I was pointing to. You have that on there, and then when you compress it, it comes down to about 3/8. That's all the protection you have. It's almost as thick as this little bushing that they have. That's what they do when they put them on a roof. It's just a little foam or piece right there just to keep the actual frame up off of the roof deck, normally from the RV manufacturer. But like I said, we don't do things like that here. So we cleaned up this as best we could here. This was all booger blobbed over with a whole bunch of stuff, previous caulking. And we got our RV roof install logo in there. It tells the month and the year that we did the coach. So what we're going to do is stretch the scaffold apart, and then once we stretch it apart, we'll check the slide outs. We do that as a courtesy. We do slide out work as well, but if it doesn't need it, I still want to check them to make sure that we don't have any issues with them. Sometimes on the coaches, you can see how he's trying to clean up the roof now. There's a couple of spots back here that we saw. There's over here somewhere. I just mentioned them. Where the heck they go? Just a couple little spots. But anyhow, just here like this here. There you go. Just take another look around there and make sure we got them all. Again, we got the plumbing done right there. So, like I'd mentioned, we put 2 layers of sealant on here. We do that because when you put 1 layer, sometimes as you run a caulking gun, you'll hear it pop or crack. That's an air pocket. So you just buried an air pocket in there. So I don't want the coach to get down the road shifting and twisting and racking and flexing like they do and have that air pocket pop through, so we put a 2nd layer on there. And that just tells me I'm not going to, chance of me getting one air pocket over another is probably slim to none. Probably hit the lottery a few times in a week for that to happen. But we'll get all this off. Like I said, that's what we're doing now, just cleaning it up. We got the skylight we put together right here. Same thing, this is all heat welded. All these components are all heat welded. You don't have to do anything to this roof. You don't have to coat it. You don't have to do anything. Bring it back to us. We do your inspections. Same thing here. We built this little curb for the antenna. And when the water comes rushing around, this is what I was saying, it'll come up and hit this and then it'll get diverted out. So you're not going to have any issues with water trying to get up and breach and basically erode or wash away the caulking that's on there. The only weather you're going to have is the falling rain that'll come off, but you're not going to have that driving, sweeping rain coming across there. So, well, that's our Montana Mountaineer. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you have any questions, give us a call here at RV Roof Install, 423-475-7663, or you can go to our website, rvroofinstall.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. There's plenty of videos up on our website, on our YouTube, Facebook, so anything we can do, give us a call. We'll be glad to point you in the right direction.